Hey Lauren, it's Kelly and Anthony again from Iron Quest. Just going to redo our video one more time because we didn't have any sound last time, so we'll go through that. We'll start with the warm-ups on the day one. So we're going to start off with the Agile 8. I know you're familiar with it, but we'll just quickly go over it. So we're starting off with our Agile 8. We're going to roll the IT bands. Kelly will just show you real fast, just a quick reminder, working from the top of the hip all the way down to the knee, back and forth, about 10 rolls, nice and slow.
I don't have to do more, do I?
No, that's good there. And then we'll obviously do the other side, and then we'll go to the adductors there, so working on the inner part of the thigh. Again, working from the knee all the way up to the crease of the hip. And very good. And we'll go over the piriformis, rolling the piriformis, and just kind of all the glute muscles there, but especially the piriformis. She's going to tilt her hips kind of at a 45-degree angle, if you can see that. She crosses her leg, and then she's working back and forth on the foam roller, kind of like 3 to 4 inches there from the top of the glute all the way down to the bottom. Excellent. Okay, of course we do both sides with all these rolling exercises, and then also added on your sheet to roll your hamstrings and calves. You remember how to do those, so we'll kind of just skip, but you could do that right now. Would be a good time to do. And then the other few movements of the Agile 8, we'll do the rollover to V-sits next. I'll show you a few. Trying to touch the toes of the floor, sitting forward, quick touch and stretch of the hamstrings. Very good. So we do 10 of these. Very good. Next, we're going to do the fire hydrant circles. Should be on all fours. Again, trying to extend, open up the hip, getting as maximal range of motion as possible. Pull the knee way forward too there. Way forward. Good. So we do 5 this direction, then we'll show a few the other direction. Good. Do 5 there. Again, trying to keep the hips real stable. And very good. We do both sides. And then next we have the mountain climbers. Again, trying to sink down for a quick second and then shifting quickly to the other side. Working on getting the foot further up and away. Every rep there. Very good. And about 10 on each side there. Next we'll do the groiners. Hopping in, trying to sit the hips way down, staying upright, and just real quick there, just a second, holding in at the bottom position. And then after about 10 of these, on the 10th one, we'll show her, go and do one more. We'll do an isometric stretch here, so she's got to sink down and hang out for 10 seconds, 15 seconds or so, and she's really trying to push her elbows out against her knees. You get a really big stretch in the adductors there. So that's the groiners. And then we'll show you, I have it written down separately on your sheet, but the half kneeling hip flexor stretch, we'll check that out real quick. This is the 8th one in the Agile 8. So again, half kneeling, she's going to shift the hips forward, try to tuck the hips underneath like we do with our planks. Shifting forward till there's a big stretch in the front of the hip. And she's going to slowly reach her same side hand overhead, increasing the stretch there. Holding for about 10 seconds, and then she'd do about 3 sets of that on each side. So that's our half kneeling hip flexor stretch. Okay, that's about it for the actual warm-ups and stretches and releases. And then we have a couple activation drills we're going to do for we got our toe raises. So some sort of calf block at your gym here. So just to kind of balance out the anterior portion of the calf, we're going to do these. So I have something to hold on to. She's got the weight stack there. And she's going to be on her heels, so scoot forward a little more. There you go. And then she's going to very slowly, just like a calf raise, pull the toes up as far as she can. Good. And then back down slowly. And you do these, you don't have to do a certain number of reps. Just going to kind of do them until they start to get a good burn in the front of the calves. And once you feel like you can't quite get all the way up for your range of motion, that'd be when you stop. So probably somewhere between 10 and 20. All right, that's it for the toe raises. Next, we're going to show you the seated abductions. So we got a band here. These little mini bands. You can, if there's some sort of other band at the gym, you can use that. But throw it around just below the knees. A nice tall posture, feet are about hip width apart, and she's going to kind of rocking on the heel or the feet there. She's going to push the knees out as far as she can. And we're going to aim for about 25 or 30 reps of these, really trying to feel the glutes get activated. Okay, so that's it for the activation drills. And again, they're all the same for the B and C day, so we won't show you a second and third time, but just make sure you do those before every workout so you're ready to go. So let's go to the first day, the A day. We've got our barbell front squat. And I'll notice I got some plates on the floor here. She's going to back up onto the plates once she gets her barbell. Barbell's up on her shoulders, the meat of the shoulders. She's going to raise up, step back, and she'll have her heels just on the plates, just so we can, because your calves are tight, this will help you stay a little more upright in your squat. She has a nice big shelf with her elbows, and she's going to push the knees way forward as she squats down to parallel there and back up. Excellent. If we show from the front, we can see her knees are not buckling in the mirror here. They're staying out over the toes. And one more rep here. Excellent. Okay, that's our front squat. Next, we're going to do some push-ups, some modified push-ups. So you just move the bar down here. Okay, so grip is about a thumb length away from the knurling here. It's going to be, your bars might be different at the gym, so about shoulder width or just outside shoulder width. Make a nice straight line with her body here, and really good retraction. Remember, as we do our push-ups, it's very important, pulling the shoulder blades together. Good. See the bar hits her right in the middle of the breastbone there, so I want to make sure we're hitting that same spot every time, and also that our elbows are tucked back at about 45 degrees. They're not flared way out. We'll show her flared out with the elbows.
This way?
Yep. So elbows are tucked in more. And of course, good retraction. Excellent. And we have these in the A day and the C day, so kind of just keep track of how you progress them. And maybe you went a little lower on the C day. Make sure you adjust accordingly for the next time you do them. All right, and then we have some front planks. So we'll just go to the floor here on the mat just to start. Again, we'll start. She'll have her elbows underneath her shoulders. Her knees are pretty far back, and that's good. That's going to make it tougher. So, if it's a little too tough, you can always bring your knees in a little more. She's going to tuck her hips underneath, abs engaged, belly button sucked tight to the spine, and then just lifting the knees up just an inch off the ground. And we'll show her a bad hip tuck. Let's just, without tucking the hips. Yeah, there you go. So we don't want to see this curve in the back, right? So this is bad for the back. The abs really don't do a lot in this position. So then we'll change it, fix the hip for the hip tuck. So one more time. Good, that's what we want to see. So again, that's our plank there. Once you can do about 60 seconds of it, then you progress by either moving to a Swiss ball or some other a small ball that would make you more unstable, and then you continue moving on from there. Okay, for our fourth exercise is just some calisthenics. I won't have Kelly show us, but we're going to do some jumping jacks, do mountain climbers or squat thrusts. Pick an exercise and do it as fast as you can for about 60 seconds, and then you get a rest. So you repeat that set 3 to 4 times or how much time you have. And then we'll move on to our B group. So our B group, we're going to start off with a glute ham raise, a one-legged one, just to the floor to start. So face up here, she's going to have a natural arch in her back, arms up to support herself, and then with one foot planted on the floor about 90 degrees. So we're going to move away a little bit. There you go, a little more. That's about 90. Pushing through the heel. And the other leg obviously up in the air. She's going to really engage the glute as she comes up, making a bridge with her torso. Very good. So obviously we do the reps on one side, switch to the other side. If you need to make it more difficult, then we'd grab a small box, something about this high to start, and then you could, we have some bigger boxes we'd progress to here. You could find something a little higher to go to. But same procedure, good arch, and engage the glute. This time she has to go a little higher to lock out the hips. So again, remember to progress the height of your foot to make it tougher. Okay, let's see what we have next. So we have our one arm bent supported row on the bench. So we have a dumbbell here. Should be bent here. Established very flat back with her chest out. And really good retraction as she rows the dumbbell up to about 90 degrees. It's pretty good there. And we'll show her if we were to pull it like too high to the shoulder, like if we're, and that's okay, but if we had less than 90 degrees, so we don't want to see her pulling it up way to her neck or to her chest region, more like that. Yep, so we want more like a 90-degree pull. And make sure we're trying to mimic that same angle, and then of course, really good retraction of the shoulder blade as we move through this range of motion. Okay, again, we repeat that on the other side, obviously. And then we have a high cable tricep extension over here. Whatever type of cable machine, there'll be maybe something different than what we have here. But we'll take the high cable attachment, add a rope here. So she's going to stand fairly close to the pulley system. Elbows are kind of anchored down and almost think of it attached to her rib cage here. And she's going to extend down, locking the elbows all the way out there, and then control on the way back up. You could use a bar attachment if you needed to. The rope is usually just the easiest one to start with. Okay, and that's our tricep extension. Alright, so that's it for day A here. We're going to move on to our day B. We have all other exercises that's set up at a different station. We're going to start off with the two-legged hip thrust to the bench. So we'll just go over the mechanics here. Shoulders up on the bench, about middle of the shoulder blades. Feet are about hip width apart, like so, and our knee angle's about 90 degrees there. So she's going to, keeping a flat back, engage the glutes and push the hips up to lock out at the top. Very good. Always focusing on the glutes here. And then if we need to add some difficulty, we'd grab a dumbbell. This is a pretty light dumbbell, but you can just place it in right on the crease of the hip. Some people like to put it a little higher on the abdomen, wherever is comfortable, and then we'd continue to add weight that way to add difficulty. Very good. All right, that's it for our hip thrust. Next, we have a standing overhead press with the barbell. So we got our barbell. Try to get out of the glare here. Got our barbell set up about shoulder height. She's going to approach the bar. Step out. Pretty straightforward. We've done a lot of pressing here, but as she presses up with the barbell, notice she's going to press back overhead and kind of a swooping path back. We don't want to press like directly straight up. We'll show her kind of like a straight up and forward bar path. It's really hard to control the bar there, so make sure we swoop back as we press up. And she's going to work on keeping her abs really tight so the low back doesn't kick in to help. Abs brace as we press overhead. Excellent. Okay, that's it for our military press there. We're going to do some side planks with our shoulder to the bench next. You could do these to the floor if you like to, but this is just kind of the easiest version to start with. She's got our shoulder, and pretty much just her shoulder there. We don't want a lot of her rib cage on the bench. Making a nice straight line with her body here, always working on pushing the hips up. And we'd hold for time here, trying to work to 20 seconds or more per side. Okay, very good there. Pretty straightforward. We do the other side, obviously. And keep working on adding time. And then we're going to next go to a reverse lunge with some dumbbells. Again, we've done a lot of lunging here, but we'll review all our form again. So again, we're going to keep 90% of our weight shifted forward on the front leg as she lunges backwards and powering up there. So make sure to take your time on the way down, get the knee way over the toe. Work on keeping your chest over the thigh. Don't want to shift our weight back. I'll show a rep where we put too much of our weight on the back leg. See how far back she is here. We need to shift forward much more with our lunge. And then, of course, we'll make sure we always watch our knee as we lunge. We don't want to see a knee buckle in at all. Knee goes directly over the toe. And let's show a knee buckle that we don't want to see like that. So He needs to stay directly over the toe. That was very dramatic.
Very.
Good. All right, so that's it for a lunge there. We're going to move on to our seated pull down. So over here, there'll be, again, some sort of lat pull down machine at the gym. Might not look quite like ours, but we'll have our palms facing away. Shoulder width grip or so just outside of it, Kelly's got. So again, a big thing with our pull downs is a lot of retraction and depressing of the scapulae. So we're trying to pull those down and back as we pull down. So we'll show a rep where we don't do any scapular movement, kind of a crappy rep. So, and then we'll show a good rep where we pull our shoulder blades down. Very good. And then she's going to about, could depend where your hand grip is, but when her elbows reach her rib cage, that's where she stops. So for her, it's just about below chin level. But when your elbows get to your rib cage, that's where we naturally stop with our pull. Very good. Okay. Next, we have some dumbbell lateral raises, seated. So,
Here.
all right. So these are pretty basic here. She's going to have good posture. She doesn't have to have like perfect retraction, but we don't want to see her slouching forward with her shoulders at all. And a lateral raise to the sides, controlled on the way up. And she's going to stop at shoulder height. We don't want to go any higher than that so we don't aggravate the shoulder. Very good. All right. And that's it there. Pretty straightforward. So for our B day, you'll notice I, instead of having the cardio in the middle of the sets, had you do some at the end, doing some either elliptical sprints or you want to do treadmill sprints, or you could just do some more of the calisthenics that we had in the other group, the squat thrusts and anything like that. But just kind of do some intervals at the end, and I've given you some guidelines for how fast you should do them and how many sets of those. We'll move on to our C day group here. We're first going to start off with a sumo squat with the dumbbell. Again, we're going to have some plates to help out with your calf tightness and helping us move the knees over the toes more. So she's got a wider than normal stance in with our other squat. So heels are about, just outside of hip width, a little wider. Might be good there. And then she has her toes out as well, as a little bit different than our front squat. So other than that, everything pretty much stays the same. She'll go ahead and pick up the dumbbell to get started. As she squats, her knees are going to go way over her toes, staying very upright with the torso as much as possible. And looking pretty good there. Again, her knees will have to track over her toes, and that's a little wider than we did before. So, oops, covering it up. So knees are out over the toes there. Very good. Okay, that's it for our sumo squat. Next, we have some more push-ups. We'll just kind of skip those because we have them both days. We've already shown you. So push-ups, and then we're going to go to a high cable Palloff press. This is a bracing exercise. So make sure when we start that her shoulders are kind of in the same line as the cable there. They're all like parallel to one another. And she's going to have her step out a little more, about 6 feet from the cable. And she's going to bend her knees here. Knees are bent, core is engaged, and then she's going to very slowly, I'll show you from the front view, she's going to press the handle out in a direct line from her chest there. So she's really using her core and obliques to resist the handle from twisting back towards the machine. So throw a little weight on there and really brace with the core the entire time to not allow the handle to move to left or right at all. Very important with this one that we go very slow. I don't want to see you punching the hands out really quick like Kelly's going to show you. That's a waste of your time. That's not doing any good. So very slow and controlled, and always working on bracing with the core. Next, we have some, again, the fourth exercise will be some calisthenics, some split squat jumps or one-legged squat thrusts. I gave you some recommendations, but again, just pick something and move hard for 60 seconds, and then you can take your rest. So again, after 3 or 4 sets there, we'll move to our B group. We're going to start with a bent supported band hip extension. So we got this attached to our lat machine. Again, you just have to find something that you can hook it to. It's not going to move like a weight tree over here. That would be good if you could hook it to that. but just make sure it's something that's sturdy, is not really going to go anywhere. She's going to support her hands on the lat seat here. Again, she establishes a very flat back, tabletop-like back. And the band is around the mid part of her foot. She's going to bend forward and then extend back, straightening her leg. Really trying to lock out with the glute. You feel a lot of glute and hamstring here. And very good. All right. Excellent. That's it for our bent band hip extension. If you have any trouble with any of these exercises, trying to find equipment that'll work, don't hesitate to give us a shout. We can give you ideas, or we can always come up with something a little different for you to make it easier for you to get your workout in. Next, we got our supported row, the barbell row. So we're face down the bench. She's going to grip about just outside of shoulder width. She's actually going to come in a little bit. It's pretty wide. Good. So that's about just shoulder width or just a little bit wider. And that's our pronated grip with the palms facing back behind her there. So with good retraction, of course, she's going to row and pull the barbell up to the bench. Again, we're looking for that 90-degree elbow angle. Let's show her a less than 90-degree elbow angle. So we don't want to pull even higher than that. Some people pull like way up here. They're going to stop you from even being able to retract very well. All right, so again, back to the 90 there. Really good retraction. Excellent. Back to 90 degrees. And one more time so we can see our shoulder blades pinched together. Awesome. Okay. Those are all our reps with the row there. Our last one will be a standing bicep curl. Pretty basic here. So we'll have some dumbbells. Just like the tricep extension, she's going to try to keep her elbows kind of glued to her rib cage. They can move a little bit, but we don't want to see your elbows fly way away from your body. So go ahead and do a regular curl here. Controlled up, controlled down. We'll show her if we were going to let our elbows flare way away from the body. We want to try to avoid that from happening because that's just a lot of your shoulder helping out. We want to just isolate the bicep by keeping the elbows fixed there. Excellent. Okay. And that's it for the B group. Again, I think at the end there we have some jump rope. I forgot to mention on the A-Day too at the end, the fourth exercise in the group would be doing the jump rope for 60 seconds. Or treadmill if you don't like the jump rope. But again, have an activity like that. Work hard for 60 seconds and then you can take a rest. Okay, that about concludes all our exercises today. Again, if you have any questions, you can drop us an email or give us a call. And have fun at college, all right? See you later.